When Nicole Kissinger and Chris Watts started dating in June 2018, sparks flew immediately. Chris claimed that his mistress, who he met at work, showed him more respect than his own family and left him completely mesmerized. So in that August, 2 months after he met Nicole, he murdered his pregnant wife and 2 daughters to be with her. He staged a disappearance to make it look like they left on their own. While authorities saw through this rather quickly, it still remains to understand how much Nicole was involved. Born in 1988, she was known for having an interest in geology. She graduated from Colorado State University in 2013 with a bachelor's in science, with an emphasis on geology. She also has an Associate of Science, which she received after studying geological and earth sciences and geosciences at the Community College of Aurora. Most of her life was spent in her home state. From Aurora to Denver to Fort Collins to Littleton, Colorado didn't have any shortages of where she got work with her passion for science. By early 2018, she had joined Tasman Geosciences, which contracted with Anadarko Petroleum, where Chris Watts worked. Though they were little more than colleagues at the beginning, she quickly became his girlfriend. She would tell police, "We started hanging out pretty frequently in the last week of June. He informed me that he did have 2 kids, that he was currently in the process of a separation from his wife. As far as I knew, that was becoming finalized." Christopher and Shanann were from North Carolina, Chris from Spring Lake and Shanann from Aberdeen. They met in 2010 and were married in Mecklenburg County on November 3rd, 2012. The couple had 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste. At the time of Shanann's death, she was 15 weeks pregnant with a boy who was to be named Nico. The family lived in a 5-bedroom home at 2825 Saratoga Trail in Frederick, Colorado, which they bought in 2013. The family declared bankruptcy in 2015. Chris was employed by Anadarko Petroleum while Shanann worked from home, selling a product called Thrive for a multi-level marketing company named Level. At approximately 1:48 a.m. Monday 13th August 2018, Shanann returned home from a business trip to Arizona. Her friend and colleague Nicole Atkinson drove her home. Over that weekend, Chris was home with their daughters. Later that day, Shanann and the girls were reported missing by Nicole, who became concerned when she missed her gynecology appointment and failed to message her back. Nicole went to her home about 12:10 p.m. No one answered, so she told Chris, who was at work, and called the Frederick Police Department. A police officer arrived to conduct a welfare check at about 1:40. During the welfare check, Chris gave the officer permission to search the home where the family dog was discovered unharmed, but Shanann and the girls weren't there. Her purse was found with her keys and her medicine. Her phone was found between the couch cushions, and her car, which still had the girls' car seats, was in the garage. Her wedding ring was found on the bedside table during the search of the home. The FBI and the Colorado Bureau of Investigation joined the investigation the next day. Chris initially told the police that he had no idea where they might be, and he hadn't seen his wife since 5:15 a.m. the previous day when he left for work. But in the early morning hours of August 13th, 2018, Chris Watts murdered his pregnant wife, Shanann, and their 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste. Local media descended on the family after their disappearance. He begged on camera for his family to return home safely. While Nicole was reportedly in love with Chris and convinced he was leaving his wife for her, something felt off as soon as she heard the news of his family's disappearance. Not only did she learn that the wife and the kids were missing, but she also found out that Shanann was pregnant. Documents revealed that Nicole reached out to the authorities about the affair before they ever contacted her. However, she also deleted all of Chris's information from her phone before she met with the police. She told the police, "I wonder if there's more to this story than I know because I think he's a really good guy, and I'm worried about his wife and kids. And it's just freaking me out because those little girls are just so little, and she's pregnant. Little did she know that they were already dead by this time because he wanted to be with her instead. The confession from Nicole helped police when it came to find answers. They quickly found cards, photos, and letters the couple had sent to each other and determined that Chris had been planning to start a new life outside of his marriage. Chris initially claimed his family had left him, but that story changed later and got worse. He first confessed to strangling Shanann after catching her killing their daughters. Months later, he admitted that he killed his entire family after telling his wife he was leaving her. After strangling his wife and attempting to smother his children, he drove their bodies to a remote Anadarko oil field. He dumped his wife in a shallow grave and again smothered 3-year-old Celeste in her own blanket before shoving her body through an 8-inch hatch into one of the tankers. He said, "I couldn't believe how easy it was to just let her drop through the hole and let her go. I heard the splash as she hit the oil." 4-year-old Bella realized what her father had done and surprised him by putting up a fight. He later said, "I will hear her soft little voice for the rest of my life. She knew what I was doing to her. She may have not understood death, but she knew I was killing her. He persisted through her screams and murdered her. All I could feel now was that I was free to be with Nikki. Feelings of my love for her was overcoming me. I felt no remorse." On December 3, 2019, he moved to an out-of-state location due to security concerns. In December, he arrived at Dodge Correctional Institution, a maximum security prison in Waupun, Wisconsin, to continue his 3-life sentence without the possibility of parole.